for this event. Let's welcome him.
Good morning, gentlemen of the press. I think I'm going to stand on the protocols that Dr. Sendo has established. My job this morning essentially is to welcome you to the press center. We've gathered the subject matter experts that are going to elucidate on the issues at hand. But before I yield the microphone to the subject matter experts, a few housekeeping matters. On the 6th of this month, at the Udodoma Park, the first set of the 50 beneficiaries or winners of the Arise Home Farmers Initiative will be unveiled at an evening that promises to be full of excitement, conviviality, and spirit of oneness. And I'm told that I've been reliably informed that the I Live Maestro Flavor is going to come do his thing. And so for all those who are big fans of Flavor, including my humble self, I think you'll find time to come and have a good time. That's going to be at the amphitheater at the Unity Park. And also later, first element of that town hall, of course. There would be element of that town hall, of course. There would be empowerment schemes that are split into 4 very exciting and impactful layers. And the subject matter experts here gathered will elucidate more on that and explicate on what is expected. So I don't really want to take you too far, and I'm going to, at this point in time, yield the microphone to Dr. Frank Ekpenyong to take us on one of the angles of why we're gathered here this morning. Thank you so very much. Dr. Sam Ekpenyong, please. Frank Ekpenyong, I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you, the CPS. I'm just waiting for the to come up. So while we wait for the projector to come up, hopefully it will. Permit me to stand on already established protocol and perhaps also acknowledge the different permanent secretaries that have come in here, and also the director, the Ministry of Agric and Rural Development. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. CPSR, like you've mentioned, the objective of this chart, if you like, is to just showcase on some of the empowerment program that His Excellency will be embarking on, come the town hall meeting. We're here as a dual act, if you like, the SS entrepreneur is here. So what I forget, he will put in, or perhaps, we will take turns to go over this. The first bit, I really want to take time and just talk about the MSME portal. So what is this about? If you're a business person, a business owner in Akwa Ibom, no matter how small or big the business is, you want to register here to be able to get government support. That's what it's about. So I want to just showcase this and perhaps, talk about His Excellency's ambition and vision, to be able to deploy this and how, people from Akwa Ibom will benefit from this. So this is one aspect. The second aspect, obviously, is to talk about, some of the program, for example, the different farmers and traders, how we verify them, how they come into the system, to verify in preparation for the empowerment program, as the CPS has mentioned. The third aspect, obviously, is the female youths, which the empowerment is coming up on Thursday. again, we would add more information so that you could perhaps run with those. So, and I'll start. Please feel free to ask questions. It's not exciting if we do this presentation and nobody asks any question. So feel free to ask questions, and then we'll think it's successful. I want to start with providing a background. Is that critical? Is that important? We have to just put a foundation we can stand with. And obviously, in this case, the foundation is, referring to the previous work, His Excellency the Governor has done in terms of empowering, youths and businesses. Why is this important? If we can put a foothold on the foundation, then we will be so certain that what we're planning will work. So that's why I've decided to start with the foundation. Then I'll talk about the different MSME. Just so you know, I remember I was telling someone, I said, look, we're doing an SME portal. And he said, you know what, Frank, I think when you're talking about SME, do you want to say MSME? I said, look, I'll tell you what. It's easier to pronounce it SME as opposed to MSME. So when I say SME, it also implies, MSME. So just take that. Now, so we'll talk about the farmers. We'll talk about, and that's spelled wrongly, my fault, the traders, equipment support, and also the new portal. So there are 4 things I want you to take away today. It could be confusing. I hope it's not. The first one are the farmer support. The next one are the traders. The next one is equipment support. And lastly, the new portal, which is registering new businesses. Then obviously, how do you apply for this? The timelines, how they apply to the empowerment program. What's the objective? Simple, but simple. The governor wants to continue to empower micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Akwa Ibom State. Clearly, he believes that they are the bedrock, of economic stimulation and development in the state. So this is the objective, no more, no less. And that's what we hope to achieve here. So let's start with the foundation. The SSA entrepreneur is here, so we'll probably, support this. It's now common knowledge, that the governor has empowered 1,200 youths, through the EAP programs. I had to just take time and put the dates and the numbers there. And obviously, the last batch is what we're doing on Thursday. With the governor will be individually, empowering this female youths. We also now 251 youths are currently undergoing training at DAZAC. And obviously, student bursary, probably sounding like a broken record now. We've said that several times. And we're starting a new one. We're just looking for that window we can start, without the many things ongoing. And you also know that the bursary has been increased now, 20,000 for regular courses and 30,000 for professional, courses. So that's also news. Another group of students, student with disability, this has been ongoing. So far, we had about 162 applications. As you can imagine, these were done digitally. So there were a lot of checks to make sure they are real students, not just people turning up to claim money just because they're disabled. We paid 134, that was successful. 22 from 22 unique institutions and covering 30 local government. So that process is still ongoing. As they submit documentation to confirm they are legitimate student, they will get paid. How much are they being paid? Undergraduate student, 250,000. Postgraduate student, 300,000. It's very important to just keep, showcasing this, because this is the, if you like, the platform, the foundation the governor has done as far as youth is concerned. Then on the employment portal, it's also a big story that the governor intends to pay 5,000 youths, every month, and December or pre-Christmas, he was talking about 15,000, October, November, and December. I can announce to this house that we've paid so far, and I'll show you some statistics to support that. And again, we know the story. Everybody selected for the grant would have to log in, would have to accept the shortlisting, would have to accept the payment terms, and we'll get the money in the account. It's that simple, and that is still ongoing. But I thought I'd go reel out some statistics. This might be slightly not accurate, maybe more than this. So if you go to the employment.akwaibomstate.gov.ng website, just scroll down, maybe two tabs down, you will see the statistics. So they are for October, November, and December. January will soon join, because we've started a process of shortlisting. As you can imagine, 5,000 were shortlisted. And out of the 5,000, we've paid 4,932. Why have we not paid the rest? 4 persons have rejected the payment because, for example, they think there'll be better opportunities, or they're civil servant, or whatever reason they've rejected the payment, which is within their rights to do so. 63 people have an acceptance time at the lab. So when we shortlist you, we'll expect within 30 days for you to say, I want this money. You can't just throw money into your account for the sake of money. You really have to accept it. 63 persons thought, no, they've not accepted it. So what normally would happen is that we would just, use the funds and pay other persons. So that's the statistics there. Same thing again for, if you look at the tap has gone to November now, 5,000 are shortlisted again, 4,900 paid. Then 98 pending acceptance, 98% are still within the window. This is as of last week, so this statistic is slightly different now. So once they accept, we will pay them, for that month. And lastly, December, we've shortlisted about 3,600 and something, it's still ongoing. What happened is that in some local government, we've run out of people to shortlist. That's the honest truth. This below and all that, the people that don't meet the requirement again. So we just want to talk to the people concerned to make sure that, we can sort of leave them and go to other, local government to keep shortlisting. But this is ongoing. In January, we've started, so that process will immediately be online. And again, similar statistics. So I had to establish that foundation, and I hope you appreciate that. Now to the big story, the Arise MSME grants. All right, we think in total is 5.1 billion naira that is available, that government is going to gift out. 5.1 billion naira. That's a lot of money. And this is coming, and this is going to Akwa Ibomites. 5.1 billion naira, we should say. Let's start to uncover where these monies are. The first thing is, this is the portal I want to showcase today. And please take the URL down as smegrants.akwaibomstate.gov.ng. So I will show some of the live capability and you see what you make of it. smegrants.akwaibomstate.gov.ng. What is available on this portal? What can you do? There are basically 4 streams of grants you can get for. The first one are traders. The governor on several platforms, several forums have mentioned that there are 2 billion naira grants available, for traders, right? So that is one, and this is open to all registered or validated traders across the 31 local government of Akwa Ibom State. And obviously, traders must be registered with their local cooperative, etc. We will tell you what has happened to that and bring that really forward. The next one, farmers, again, the governor has announced that, there'll be 2 billion naira grants available to farmers. This is different from the Rise Home video. The Rise Home video was just for usual, casual people that have got home farms, where they live. So this is not it. This is different. So let's not confuse that. Because sometimes I get people call and say, look, I uploaded my video. A farmer, you would have registered with Agri Investment or Ministry of Agri. That's how the list coming. I'll tell you why I'm telling you all this story. Then the equipment one, obviously already completed. Then lastly, we go to the business one, which is the application is open online. So please allow me to just go, see if I can find my browser here. So this is the site, so you can imagine. So feel free to go to the site, and as either you log in and create a new application, or you just manage an existing application. We've got all the stories here, all the nice bits to support the site, but this is why I want to, hold station today. Remember I told you 4 different streams of grants. The traders, for example, right? I feel I'm a trader because I buy and sell, and I want to apply for this. So I'll go and try to apply. And once I go and try to apply, I'm hoping my internet will take this. I know something is happening. Yeah. And this is what it tells me. It tells me how to apply. Check if your name is on there. Why? Are you a registered trader? Then check if you're captured and ready for verification. All right? So then I will check if I'm registered. What happens here? It means we've already got pre-populated lists from the SSA market that came from the different market cooperative that came from stakeholders and whatever, for us to go out and verify these people. The instruction of the government was very clear. He wanted businesses captured at their place of business. So he's not calling people and going to them, but going to the places of, if you're a farmer, or come to your farm. If you're a business, we come to your business, right? We record where you are geographically and also do a video of you of the place and ask you some questions. So that's one. So is my name in there? I'll just do a quick check. As you can imagine, this is a live system. I really don't want to use anybody's name, but if I was a trader, I would check there to see, if I was registered. Now the question becomes, what if my name is not on there? What do I do? We've put an instruction to say, look, speak to the SSA market, Mr. Ian Raphael, or perhaps the ministry. All right, we leave that one for now. We go to the next one. Let's say farmer, okay? I now want to be a farmer. Same process, and I'm hoping, again, the internet will be friendly. Yeah, same thing. So again, check if you are registered, to take advantage of this grant. If not, speak to the Director of Agri Investment, but see something very interesting. If I'm not registered as a farmer, if I'm not registered as a trader, there's an option, right, which is the business grant. So this is now, completed. So if, for example, I check, for whatever reason, my name is not in any of those, it means the next option is to do the SME or MSME business grant. So that's where everybody's being funneled, to. So I move away from that. Again, I try the equipment one. So this is the third one now I'm going. Recall that we said this is closed, and rightly so. This is now closed. I mean, this is door shut closed. Nothing can be done here. So what do I do if I'm here? Again, I go to the MSME application and apply. So lastly, I'll take you to the MSME application. And this is the stage. You see the slides are different, the page is different, this is a bit more live, all right? So you start with the first thing, we'll ask you to create an account, put your business information, your VIN in. Again, I take this opportunity to explain why the VIN. The VIN is critical. I can't apologize for that. The VIN is the thing that just shows tie to Akwa Ibom State. This is an online application. I can stay in London and complete the application very well. You must understand that. I can stay in London, I can stay in US and complete, but if I have a VIN, it means I have ties to Akwa Ibom, and that's big. We cannot do, without that information. Your NIN, every Nigerian should have a NIN, so it's not enough. Your BVN, every Nigerian should have a BVN. If you have a bank account, it's not enough. But your voter's identification number is big because it means you vote, and we check for VINs that are registered in Akwa Ibom State. Again, the purpose is just your tie to Akwa Ibom State, no more, no less. Another thing you must do for this grant, you must be able to show that you're employing at least one person. So once you apply, at some point our verification team will come to you and you have to show proof, that you're paying at least one person. That's how to confirm, that is a valid business. Number two, you also must agree, if successful, that your business will be branded, okay, with your RISE colors and logo, at the time. So please, those are things you must accept and consider. Now, I'm going to take you slightly away. Recall that we're talking about 4 different grants, and 2 of them, I told you, we have to validate it. As we speak now, the validation is ongoing, and perhaps, can I appeal to everyone? Try not to take pictures here, because these are real data. I just want to show a proof of concept. So I beg in the name of God, do not take picture. Data protection, this is someone's actual data, so it'd be a bit unfair if we just capture this data. So I appeal to you, do not record the screen at this moment. All right, I'm going to be really quick here because in theory, you're not supposed to see this part, but it exists. So don't ask me anything you see there, but except what I want to show you. So this is the back end, all right? Again, please, I beg in the name of God, real data, okay? So do not record and do not stream this part. I'm really appealing. For example, now, we've got a team in Ikorabasi, right? And data just came in, for example. All right. So this is what normally happens. This is a person. Again, you can understand why I said don't record this. It's real data, real people. This is not acting. And you could see we've sort of blurred out their NINs and VIN and all that. This is a validated, once again, I'll find out. This is a validated, in this case, a trader, right? So the people that go to these people and record what they're doing. I'll see if my internet would allow this. So let's see what comes out there. Yeah, CPS, just like a feedback. You might need good internet here. I'm just thinking. Yeah, just feedback. I'm not sure you guys do a lot of feedback, but there you go. Yeah, we are the mercy of the internet. That's fine. No, that's not what I thought. Is it going to? Yeah, it's just about. All right, so what happened is that, the actual location of this trader is digitized. You can see that that's a bit more bigger business. And you can muck about with the zoom out, understand where this is. So that is the place of the trader. I think the next bit you have to see, the instruction of the governor is that we have to record a video, in their business, what they do. And hopefully, again, let's see what the internet will do. We should hear the video play. Yeah, unfortunately, it's actually playing on my speaker as opposed to your speaker. Yeah, but in a sense, you know, you get the gist, right? So, I don't know. Okay. Oh, this one's not really saying anything, but we've got a few that take time to just explain what their business is about, what the grant will help them. So I'll look for another one. But you get the sense. And this is all the other forms and the details we collect about the people. And I'll tell you why this is useful. I'll see if I can find a farm of some sort. I'll leave you for a while. I'll just go somewhere else. You know, let's try kind of. So we've got about 3,000 whatever, and keep counting across the local government we visit, you know, to do this. This is another person. Again, what we do, this is the picture taken on the day. For some of you that have gone through our system, you know, it's quite an intriguing one. This is the NIN picture, you know, picture of the NIN of the individual. This is the picture taken on the day. So what we do a facial match, right? If it's the same, you know, we allow it pass. If it's not the same, you can't get in here. That's why it's clean data. Everybody here is validated, clean data. The data we got from source, as you can imagine, you know, you would have duplicates, right? You would have people, you know, all sorts. So let's just make sure the data is streamlined so that is actually one clean data source. Again, I'll try to play this one again. You know, this is a farm and you can see the farm location. You make an argument, right? These are not done by surveyors. So what makes you think the farm size is right? No, it doesn't have to be. For the purpose of this, we're just trying to get the location of the farm, make sure it's a real farm and a real business. I suspect this is livestock, I don't know. Yeah, fish farming. Yeah, it says it there, and you can see, you know, we've got some really amazing videos. I mean, people that just make this work. Sorry, it doesn't say much, but you get the sense. So for farmers and traders, this is what we're doing, you know, repeatedly. And do you know what will happen with this? You know, once this is done, the subject experts will sit back and decide who gets what based on the evidence that's available here, right? Some person will get 1 million, 500, whatever. You know, it's not fixed in stone, right? But the subject expert will sit down. Oh, is that my batteries? Oh, great. Yeah, I think it will give me another 10 minutes. It should be fine. Let's allow it. It'll be fine. Another few minutes. Sorry about this. So subject expert will sit back, you know, review this data. It's not really us. You know, for example, traders, you know, Mr. Mayor, whoever the commissioner or the permanent secretary, Ministry of Trade will sit back and decide based on this evidence who gets what. Farmers, Agri Investment, Ministry of Agri will sit back, you know, and decide who gets what. And that's how the empowerment, you know, would happen. As you can imagine, when would this empowerment happen? During the town hall meeting. We did talk about that. Now, we've gone through quite a lot of local government, quite a few still left, but we've got time. So if you like, the first approach was almost a scattergun, you know, whereby you just go call people. So the drill is we call these businesses who are coming. They tell us, okay, you're welcome. We go to the council. The chairman has been really, really supportive. I have to state that, the local government chairman, because they provide the local logistic and the security to take this team, you know, to these different places. So they've been great. So we go there, we meet the farmer, we collect this data, we come back. But there's a second one plan where there's some farmers that like, oh, I've been called, no one has come, or no one has called me, or something even is fake. All right, so it will help us a lot, you know, to just, you know, tell farmers and businesses to make sure that when we call them, because we can't go to someone that's not expecting us. You know, I think that's very important. If you don't expect us, we cannot come. So when we call you, we go there. You know, they wear something similar to what I'm wearing. You know, the well clear, you will know them. You know, and they give them the data and to be validated. So I'll go back again to the slide so that I can end this. I've got probably 2 more, you know, to do. So now you understand why this makes sense. You understand all these bits, I like to think. So the only one open now you can do if you're not a farmer and trader is the new application. And as you can imagine, our system does not support duplicate applications. So I can't be in a trader and also be a farmer. We've seen people like that in the original list, whereby I want to be a farmer and a trader. Rightly so. Maybe they are a farmer and a trader, but you got to make up your mind, you know, which one you want to be. If we find duplicate, the first one we validate is the one we take. We don't really, you know, to switch. You know, for example, I want to be a trader instead of a farmer. No. Then also in terms of that cuts across the 4 streams. You can't be in 4. It's one at a time. That's the only way we can confirm that this grant can go across as many people as possible. So the big story, SME grants that Akwa Ibom State.gov.ng. the dashboard I showed you doesn't only do farmers and traders. People from here will still arrive there, right? So once you come in there, the verification team will call you and come to you. Is that okay? And when they call you and come to you, we will get your location, we will get your mapping, and all the bits. You can already imagine where this is going. My name is Frank Ekpenyong, but for some funny reason, I was actually known as Udor Frank Ekpenyong in the civil service record. That still passed, but it passed what we call a minimum check because it's just a name interchange. All the 3 names exist, but in different orders. We can allow that here, but where there's a spelling mistake and your name and your real name, that's not you, I'm afraid. So you need to make sure you sort that out before you come into our system. Is that okay? We're unable to support you by changing data, if it's not you. Now, we complete the application, submit all the details we want, do a video of your business, upload it. The system is quite interesting. You don't need to record and upload. You just click on the system, it brings out a pop-ups and turn to a camera and activate your camera and you record and it streams, and it's quite simple to do. And that's what we've been doing. Then obviously selection and payment. Now, His Excellency was quite kind here. You can imagine, I know what you're thinking already. When would we complete this and be considered for the empowerment program, right? So this is an open application. If you do it on time, then there's the chance you could. But if not, it's still an open application. The governor plans to support this, long term. So it's not really limited to the empowerment. Obviously, the data here can be used, for empowerment. All right. For this one, you probably would have heard also there will be 2-star grant of 5 million naira per local government. That is the online MSE application. 5 million for 2 businesses per local government. There are other benefits. For example, you can decide you want an equipment, not money. Then obviously you'll be funneled back to the SSA entrepreneur to provide you equipment. I will leave the floor because he has to explain the bits on the equipment. I think it's big information you must all hear. If I was to do it, I don't think I'll do it well, so I'll let him explain that bit. Now, what I want you to take away, please, the site, smegrants.akwaibomstate.gov.ng. It is that important. Please do not, people that come out to you, don't pay them. I beg you in the name of God. Don't give them any money. We've got this problem, mostly farmers. When you go to the rural areas, you hear people say, oh, the governor has done so well. We just want to say thank you to him, and they'll bring farm produce and all that. Please don't do it. Let that message come out very strong, so that we don't have an issue how to manage that. Please do not pay them. And if you're registered as a farmer or trader, check if your status online. I didn't want, again, data protection. I could have got some details and do a check for you to see. If you're registered and validated, once you click that, it will show validated and show you that you're validated with some good data. If you're yet to be validated, he will also tell you not validated. At least you know we're going to come to you. So that's also there. Then if you're registering on the application online, you must have a valid NIN and VIN, to be verified. As you can imagine, this is where support lives. Right? Option number 2. Option 1 is the employment portal, which is still being supported and active. Then option 2 is dedicated to the SME grant. So I'm going to perhaps allow the SSA to put the other bits in so that we can all take question on one. Is that okay? Okay.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. CPS and my colleagues, let me stand on existing protocol. So I'll talk about 2 things: the EAP, Entrepreneurship Accelerator Program for female youths. Then I'll also talk about the Arise Entrepreneurial Support Scheme. That's the equipment support. So the EAP is a program of IBOM Leadership and Entrepreneurship Development Center. It's a training program where we take on would-be entrepreneurs or people that are interested in going into entrepreneurship, or people that are already existing entrepreneurs that wants to scale up and take their business to the next level. And we train them, we put them through, and also encourage them, kind of hand-holding, to make sure that they succeed in their businesses. So His Excellency was interested in training Akwa Ibom young persons and also traders. They, like my colleague showed, the first 2 entrepreneurship accelerator program that we did. That was it started when we had the the first edition of Made in Akwa Ibom Trade Fair, where His Excellency announced unplanned that about 400 persons that attended that trade fair should join that program. And that's how we did the batch 1 of that program. And the second batch, we did application, we had a process. Of course, this same process, all of the programs that His Excellency is putting out uses this same process. One of the things His Excellency said when he came to power was that he's going to automate government. And that is what we are all trying to do. The SSA ICT is doing a whole lot in that area to put all of these things in one house. So when we have open applications for EAP, we go through the same process. We go through this portal. When the portal is open for the program, he will also do something like this to let people know that that portal is open. So the batch 2 went through. We had 400 persons attending that program. Then the batch 3 now, His Excellency announced that he wanted to train the female youths. Female youths in purple, there is female youths lemon, there is Arise ladies in white. Then there is also the golden girls. So we trained 400 each of those groups, and we admitted them to the program EAP. And His Excellency also promised that after the program, he's going to empower them, not just empower them with the regular grant that he gave the other ones, which was 500,000, but he's going to pay for shop rent for all of the 400 female youths. That's 250,000 naira for shop rent, then 500,000 naira for the grant. That's making it 750,000 naira. We finished training of those female youths, and a lot of them benefited from the program. And right now we are moving into the implementation stage for the grant disbursement, which is going to happen on Thursday. We will see His Excellency giving out participants. So on the EAP, I think that should do. It's a program that has been completed. It won't stop there. Very soon, maybe after the series of town hall meetings that we'll be having, I'm sure that we'll have the 4th batch of the EAP. Now the equipment support program is called the Arise Entrepreneurial Support Scheme, equipment support. Basically, this program supports brick and mortar businesses. By brick and mortar, I mean businesses that you can touch, you can feel. It's not online businesses. Businesses that need equipment to succeed. They have major equipment needs to succeed. And there are not businesses that are also too big, but at least these are businesses that relate to everyday life. People use it every day. So for example, we looked at welders, we looked at hairdressers, we looked at makeup artists, we looked at barbing salons, we looked at those kind of businesses. We graded them under brick and mortar businesses. So the approach, like His Excellency instructed, was let's go down to these local governments, their locality, and do a needs assessment, not just assume, because normally when government and maybe politicians have opportunity to empower their constituents and give them equipment, in no time you get to see them selling off those equipments, probably because they did not need that particular equipment as at the time. So maybe their business is not, or maybe they have more of those equipments and they don't need another one. That's why they are selling them off. So His Excellency had instructed that we go down and make sure that we do a needs assessment, be sure that these persons, this is equipment that they really need. And that's what we did. We trained some persons, myself and the SSI ICT, those people, they went down to all of the local governments. They made sure that they approach this kind of businesses, talk to them, try to understand the challenges that they have in this business, especially that has to do with equipment. So we captured them. We picked up about 2,000. We picked up about 2,000 small brick and mortar businesses that needed specific equipments to support their businesses, and we captured all of that. Then by these town hall meetings that His Excellency is going to go around, you will see of that equipment support program that is still ongoing, where people are still applying for grants. And if you don't get grants, you can also get equipment, and that always would come back. There will be an assessment for us to also be sure that you need that equipment, or the people asking for the equipment that they need it, and we can support it. So I think that's it about the EAP and we call it the AESS, Arise Entrepreneurial Support Scheme. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor, both for ICT and entrepreneurial development. I think from what we've heard, it's obvious that so many journalists here might end up abandoning their profession to go back to the farms with the incentives that are springing up everywhere. I think the governor deserves a very resounding round of applause. I was personally awed when I saw the geographical features to show that those businesses, there's nothing like GBT. And if you are convinced yourself, then it's easier for you to convince the public. At this point, for the gray areas you may have spotted, you want to have more clarifications, the floor is open. You raise your hands, I recognize you, you ask your question, introduce yourself, your medium, and then you ask your question. All right, Elizabeth is of the Federal Information Chapel. Any other question? Let me just know all those who will ask questions. Okay, and if you're Christopher, and then Richard wants to make more clarifications. Okay, Elizabeth.
Good afternoon, CPS. Good afternoon, Dr. Sam. Good afternoon, all the SAs here. My name is Awake Elizabeth from Federal Ministry of Information. I am so happy to be here this afternoon, and I want to thank God for my CPS who has been able to put up this program, this briefing this afternoon, to equip us and to fund us with all the information we've gotten this afternoon. I want to really thank Dr. Sam, because while he was... Oh, Dr. Frank. Yes, I want to thank Dr. Frank. So sorry about that. I want to thank Dr. Frank because while he started speaking, something that was boiling in my mind was, I want to ask him the modalities for selection of these people. But while he was talking, I couldn't ask that question again. I changed my question. I want to commend you because you and your team have really done a thorough job. Having listened to you critically, I have come to understand that you've done a thorough job, because whenever I hear this program, I say, how are they selecting these people? How am I sure is the real beneficiaries that are captured into this program? So I want to thank you this afternoon. I want to say a very big thank you to you and your team. But I still want to ask just one question. The question I want to ask is just on the strength of your monitoring team, because the program you've given, the monies, the grants, all the SMEs, all the program you've rolled out this afternoon, they are lofty programs. And I'm afraid if this money is, pumped into these people and onto these programs are not utilized in the best way, that's what I want to know. What is the strength of your monitoring team? I know there's monitoring team on ground. The way it has strength that they ensure that these people getting this money are the real people and are using this money for the real purpose this money was intended for. And number two, I want to ask for the application also. What if I'm trying to apply for that any program, any grant, or whatever, then the network is not helping me, What do I do? What if I've tried and tried and I cannot be captured into the program? Who do I go to? Or even when I go to that person, how do I get through to make sure that I am being captured into the program? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth Awak. Okay, and if you're Christopher, pass the mic behind to the gentleman there. She's asking if, just like we had in the election, where there will be incidence form for those where there's network failure.
Yeah, good afternoon, the press secretary, and good afternoon, Dr. Frank, and the SAs to the governor, my most senior colleagues, gentlemen. And if you're Christopher is my name, I write for Straight News Online. I'm concerned about the youth empowerment program. I know that to some extent I was aware that the portal was closed First, I want to know, there was a statement that it will be reopened. If it is reopened, then yeah, the VIN, which a lot of people commented on. There were people, for instance, I know of a lady that was in Cross River State, but she came over.
There, please. You said that some people reject money.
My question, okay, rather it's not really my question. Okay, rather it's not really a question. I just wanted to throw more light in this area. First of all, the name change. You mentioned the reason why one could be disqualified for name change if it's not just an outright swap. I wanted to ask, is there a provision for, there are people who actually change their name and swear affidavits to that effect. So is there a provision to accommodate such people? You've changed your name, you have an affidavit to that effect at the court, and then you can upload that information as well, so you can be captured. Then number two, BVN. You spoke about BVN that is not really your main, you're not really focused on BVN, but NIN and VIN. So is it possible that one might not have a BVN and apply, and you can do a soft check on that, and then if that passes, or you must also put BVN, even though it's not a big criteria? You know, because we get this question most of the time. In fact, some time ago, someone engaged me on Twitter and was saying, why should we ask for BVN, NIN, and then VIN? I'm really happy that today you've clarified the issue of VIN. Not that it's for political reasons, because people felt, oh, because you must tie it to politics, you must come and vote for the governor and all of that. But because the person must have an attachment to Akwa Ibom State, which is very core, and I like that part. And then also, Mark Babi has asked that question, so I'll just take that too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I'll probably just, the first question talked about being able to manage the funds these people will get. I mean, we saw 5.1 billion naira, quite a lot of money. You know, I think it's a very good question. But thankfully, that's where the SSA entrepreneur is here. So that's the question for him. My business is capability to be able to collect these people, and then we'll manage what happens with the fund. So I think I'll let him answer that.
So thank you. We have a center. There is a reason His Excellency brought in that center, Ibom Leadership and Entrepreneurship Development Center. We have an M&E's team, which is looking into all of these programs, following up on all of these programs. And it's from that team that we have a lot of members of that team. And Ibom Led is led by a seasoned professional in the industry, Pastor Imo Basi Jacob. And so we have a team that goes around, follows up on all of these grants. There's one of these grants. We know everyone that has attended our program. But you know, the biggest way of doing monitoring and evaluation is when you group these people into an alumni kind of community where they can look after each other. And that's our biggest strength in terms of monitoring and evaluation. We are able to reach out to them. We are able to see them because they lead that community themselves. So the M&E is strong. We are giving out reports. In fact, that's why I just commended these team and people in this room, because I've seen a lot of videos that has emanated from some of the results that we've gotten in the field. I know most press they are going for the Mr. Jones, the person living with disability. But we have some other videos that are also coming out. The essence of those videos are at least to showcase and that these people actually implemented. In most of those videos, you see that they will state clearly what they used this money to do. They bought this equipment, they bought a dryer, and all of those things are coming out. And our intention is to bring out those videos once every week. And you can imagine we have about 800 people, so meaning we have content. I think we'll be doing 2 in a day with the support of my senior colleague. Thank you very much.
Right, then, in case you see him run out, he has a flight to catch. You know, I hope he does that soon, so that any question I can answer, I'll just refer to him. Now, the next question I was asked was about network issues. What if I'm trying to apply and the network is not quite friendly? What you will find with our application processes, the first step we would ask you to do is to input your email. We want to validate your email. So for example, we'll send you a one-time code to your email. You're supposed to go into your email and put back that code and continue the process. Once you do that validation, even if you don't complete, you go away, you come back again, put the same email. It's not going to send you a code again. It will just start from where you stop. So the system is built to support all sort of epileptic, type network. But besides that, so for example, you still can access it. I did put a support number there. If you call the support number option 2, we do everything to make sure you're registered. It's that big. We have to do everything. It's a lot of money, 5.1 billion naira. It's a lot of money. I think the least someone will get, probably 500,000. It's a lot of money. So do everything to register with everything you've got. I was asked a question about youth empowerment portal, if it's closed. Yes, and I'll tell you what happened then and what is happening now. Presently, the portal is receiving new application. But I got slightly worried. The term close is not really the word to use, because what we did, remember we're paying 15,000 persons, okay? We didn't want to manage this unartificial interest. People, because they've had 50,000, they start to flog in there to apply. So we had to pause. The word is pause registration. So if you were registered before this money was paid, you could still log in, you could apply for it. I do, but the problem exists. We have to use a simple standard across everybody. If I start to tweak names and tweak VINs and tweak stuff, I might end up tweaking everything, and the purpose will be defeated. I can only feel sorry for the individual. As we stand now, your VIN must be registered in Akwa Ibom. With all due respect, we've got a lot of Akwa Ibom businesses that have been in Akwa Ibom, didn't go anywhere. I think, we should aim to support. I understand the genuine cases, but do your best to, for example, go approach the INEC and get your VIN done properly, so that once you check it, our systems will check it and happy with it. Same thing with name change, okay? I'll probably just answer that at the same time. If you're married, or for whatever reason, your name doesn't rhyme with your official name, please go to the NIN, people, or NIMC or whatever you call them. Make sure your name is correct. We only use NIN, which is a national identification number. That's the purpose of NIN, no more, no less, So please make sure you approach NIMC and get your data correct. Move away from this slightly. If you attempt to get a Nigerian passport now, your names must match what is on your NIN. I mean, spelling for spelling. This one we are doing interchange and we allow it. It's not going to work, I'll tell you that. I told you a case of the civil service where my name is captured as Rudolph Frank Ekpeyon. If that was my NIN, I would not have a Nigerian passport, I'll tell you that. Where we look at interchange and all that. That's we just trying to be nice. Your names must match exactly what's in your NIN. That is a standard. There's no need kicking the can down the road and say, let's start to tweak it. Believe me, you will still run into the problem. So it's better you solve it once and for all. Approach NIN, approach NIMC, sort out your names, it will pass. It's almost instantaneous. Once you do the change after a few hours, sort of synchronize with your servers, and when you come to check on us, because we test from their server, then you'll be able to, to get that through. Another question I got was, if I get 50,000, can I apply for employment? Or if I get 50,000, can I get another grant? I think it's a great question, fantastic question. I'll tell you why. If you receive the 50,000, that's a grant, all right? You are unable to get another grant. I have to say that very clearly. But you can get employment. You can apply. Employment is not a grant, so we have to clarify that. Whatever employment you can apply, civil service, and there's going to be a civil service, stream. We see a lot of people registering our institution for that. Contractors, road, whatever. You can apply for whatever employment, no matter the grant. But for example, you get 50,000 grants and you're a farmer, it'll be tough for you to get this one unless His Excellency says so. We've got the data, all right, so we approach and say, look, out of 3,000, whatever people have applied, we've seen that from this 3,000, 1,000 are civil servants, all right? Mr. Governor, how would you like this treated? And he gives a call, but we see it. In theory, according to what we've been saying, our people always say,
Research and documentation, essay to the governor and policy matters here, seated very distinguished colleagues. Let me sincerely, on behalf of my colleagues, appreciate His Excellency for another visionary stride in laying the foundation for a prosperous Akwa Ibom state. What the governor has done with this presentation is sincerely going to stimulate the economy of Akwa Ibom state. Over the weekend, the governor talked about developing millionaires, and this is a foundation. And I believe that the people of Akwa Ibom state will take enough interest towards enhancing their future. It's very laudable, and I believe that going forward, we must begin to look at things of how we can now fish rather than depend on government. So this is the future, and the future starts now. And I want to assure you that the media will continue to propagate the strides of the Arise agenda so that Akwa Ibom State will not just be prosperous, but every household will have a millionaire that will develop the society. Thank you very much.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so very much for turning up at such a short notice. The chairman of the council NUJ in Akwa Ibom. I've seen the chairman of the Federated Chapel and all the wonderful journalists that turn up. We really appreciate you turning up at such a short notice. Well, from what has been presented to us this afternoon, it's pretty clear that the governor is doing pretty well. And, the governor even has an in-house team that reviews and evaluates what the contractors have submitted to ensure that the due process is mindfully followed. So it's very unfortunate that people would just wake up in the morning and begin to come up with unsanitized reportage that lacks foundation. It's unfortunate. It seems like politics has started pretty early in Akwa Ibom State, but the governor will continue to do the good work for the people of Akwa Ibom State. It's not going to be distracted by